why this shape? Like, why is it?
Because I really want to try the round pillar system.
Yeah.
So like many like Isejingu or many shrine in Japan. So I really want to try like only wood, like joinery structure. And then I really want to try Sugikawa roof to train. That's it. So it's why it looks like a small shrine.
Did you go to the Isejingu to have inspiration for this, or is it just something you have in your mind?
No, Isejingu is like one of my favorite references.
Favorite places, okay.
Simple, like no luxury.
Yeah.
Like this is
no luxury.
I don't think so. It's like really like a simple design.
Yeah.
So efficient.
Yeah.
So this is kind of minimal Japanese way compared to other shrine.
Right. This really does look like a chicken shrine. And can you tell me a bit more about this? Because the other time you were saying that you made a short one and the chickens couldn't go up.
Like, because the leg of the chicken was like too big, so I make mistake and make like classic stair, like 45 degrees. Then I was just like, okay, let's make a Izumo entrance.
Izumo entrance, yeah.
Long one. Just like this takes much more time to do than like the 45-degree one, because this one you need to make by hand.
Yeah.
Like other one you just like use saw, like electric saw, so it's like much quicker.
Oh, so this entire thing was by hand. You didn't use any.
A bit electric saw to cut this one.
Cut the
then
lines.
kana.
And then after that, so with the chisel.
Kana.
Kana, yeah. I used the plane.
Right.
Okay. So the chickens go home automatically at night. You were saying that when it gets dark, they go inside, and in the morning, do they like make noise to come out? Or
If I don't open the door, no. When I open the door, they go out.
Okay.
And then to access to egg, every wall can slide.
Yeah.
So this one I need to show you.
And the boxes are.
So you need like this for them to stand on.
Oh.
And then 10 centimeter. But all this you can find on internet.
Okay, I'll just take a picture. Okay, so that I'll take a picture from here. Yeah. Yeah, this is very useful because I've never taken care of chickens before, so.
But us too. Just like Melanie checked many things before, and then we summarize. Today is not the most easy day to.
Yeah.
So anyway, you need minimum everywhere. It's always like 1, 2, 3 everywhere. So 1, 2, 3, then start the next one.
I see.
In the past, they use kind of knife, like like to make it like really perfect. But I doesn't want to spend this time, and I don't have kind of huge one. So I use rail Marunoko. So I take my piece, my full piece, I put it here. I know that I will cut this line, so I make it. But it was like this was like that. Okay. And this way.
And then this way.
So I think here we will do all what we can to never use metal. I mean, we'll spend so many energy to remove all of them.
This one nice and long now.
Perfect. Good boy.